Nuclear energy is the most important and interesting topic in nuclear physics. Actually, you all know that we also have so many reactors in India, including the one at Tarapur, where the nuclear energy is generated. And the basic reaction required for this is fission, nuclear fission. Actually, you have the idea what is fission. When we consider the spontaneous fission, actually it is the breaking of the heavy nuclei into two smaller nuclei. The nuclear fission can undergo in the uncontrolled manner if the number of neutrons are not controlled. And then that is the basis for the atomic bomb. So we don't want that. While generating the nuclear energy or power, the nuclear fission or this chain reaction, it should take place in the controlled manner, and it can be done in a system which is called as the nuclear reactor. The first nuclear reactor was generated in Chicago in 1942. Now, when we consider the fission, and that to the asymmetric fission, means those two nuclei which are generated from the parent nuclei are not exactly same. So in that case, the mass yield, this yield you can consider in terms of the efficiency. You all know what is efficiency. That is like the ratio of output to input. Here the input is the number of particles undergoing fission, and the output is the number of particles which we are getting from that, or that is the product. So here there are so many things which are involved in this particular type of process of fission. The best example of fission is the uranium-235 fission. This is our parent, or this is the target nuclei. This is slow neutron 0 and 1. If the target is heated by the slow neutron, it is absorbed, and we see that there is the compound nucleus, that is uranium-236, and this 236 then breaks up into barium and krypton, and along with that 3 neutrons are generated. Actually on an average 2.5 neutrons are generated, means sometimes 3, sometimes 2, it is like that. And this is the whole chain, this is the complete chain, and all these reactions are supported with the antineutrinos, you can see, because there is the emission of beta particles, and you are well familiar with the concept of neutrino and antineutrino. This is the yield, as I said earlier. So this is the ratio of the number of product nuclei upon the input type, or the fission nuclei, and the variation of the mass yield with respect to the particular mass number is given for large number of nuclei having the mass number from 60 to 180. Now, the neutrons which are emitted in the process of fission are of two types. Either they are the prompt neutrons or the delayed neutrons. Basically, prompt neutrons are those which are emitted within the time or less than the time of 10 raised to minus 15 seconds, and after that those are the delayed neutrons. This is the example with bromine. You can just go through this series. The most important aspect is the energy release in fission. Human being is interested in fission only for the purpose of energy. So what happens is, all the particles which are involved, they are carrying the independent amount of energy. You can see that most of the energy is carried out by fission fragment. Fission fragments means, if you consider uranium-236, then barium and krypton are the fission fragments. So 167 MeV, mega electron volts, is carried out by those. Then kinetic energy of prompt neutrons. Prompt means less than minus 15 seconds, those which are emitted. So 5 MeV. Then gamma rays, then the particular beta particles. So this is already listed over here, and this 204 mega electron volts, or on an average we can say that 200 mega electron volts is the energy emitted per fission of uranium. And the same is again described over here. I mean, just by considering this particular amount and the number of particles, by our regular equation for Q value or energy in terms of masses, obviously here and multiplied by this factor 931.5. So finally we get 200.6 MeV. So these are the matching terms. Now chain reaction. What happens is whenever the fission is taking place, as I said, the neutrons which are further emitted during the reaction, those are again supporting the continuation of the reaction. So that is the chain reaction. This is target, the incident neutron, then these are the fission fragments, these 3 neutrons and the energy. So if this reaction goes in continuation, the role of these 3 neutrons is most important. So to control the rate of the reaction, what is to be controlled is this number, that is the neutrons. See here, it is very beautifully described. This is our initial neutron and the target. So these are the fission fragments and the 3 neutrons. So out of these 3 neutrons, we can see that the further 2 neutrons are continuing the process over here. Again the same thing will be repeated. Out of those 3, suppose this one is in the continuation. In this manner, the fission products gives us a type of chain, and as I told you earlier, the uncontrolled fission reaction will be the or is the basis of the atomic bomb. So this is the chain reaction. Now a most important formula, that is the 4-factor formula, means the formula which consists of 4 factor at the end. It describes the neutron cycle in a thermal nuclear reactor. So we can start with the initial number, and it is very well described over here. You'll have to go like target and then the fission fragments. Our target is uranium-235. So again, whatever number of particles are emitted, the neutrons are emitted, the gamma particles and all. Out of that, if we consider the continuation and then the moderator, actually I hope you know the concept of moderator. It does not take place in the reaction directly, but it just changes the rate of reaction. And so the moderator can be water, it can be graphite, it can be heavy water. So there are so many possibilities. And in this continuation, you just go through all these terms, that at every stage what happens is a particular term is multiplied and then 1 minus that term goes over here. So see here, it is leakage factor, so 1 minus that, again the multiplied by P, again 1 minus that thermal leakage factor, and on all that. So in that continuation, finally, if you just go through all these resonance escape probability, thermal neutron of leakage of that, utilization factor, finally you will reach to this term K, where K is the reproduction factor or the multiplication factor. How we define K? It is the ratio of number of neutrons in the n plus 1th generation to number of neutrons in the nth generation. So depending on whatever is your n, suppose it is the 99, then it will be 100. In that sense it goes. So finally, by substituting all these terms, what you get is K is equal to this, and in that also by substituting this particular thing, finally what we get is K is eta epsilon PF. If these leakages are considered very small, then what we get is this is unity, this is unity. So finally these 4 factors. So this K is now the effective multiplication factor, and depending on value of K, there are 3 cases. If your K is equal to 1, then the size is critical. Size of the reactor or the system, chain reacting system, is critical. If K is less than 1, then it is subcritical. If K is greater than 1, then it is supercritical. In that situation, the reaction is divergent or the thing is ceasing, and it is known as the 4-factor formula. For infinite size, again these 2 things are reduced, and what you see is this particular thing. Now we have already seen that nuclear reactor is a system in which the nuclear fission takes place in the controlled manner. But one example you can see that how it works, like the principle. And as I said, the heavy water, normal water, these are the moderators. So here is the example. You can just go through this diagram, and then the particular things are explained over here. The construction is given. See, all those things are explained over here. And when you go for the concept of the breeder reactor, breeding means reproduction, and in that also whatever is obtained across the output is greater than that of the input. So this is the process of breeding. Again you are going with the same example, but this is uranium 238 now. Now we are reaching to the final concept of the fission, that there are as I started with the concept that there are so many reactors in India for breeding. You can go for the reactor research center, which is at Kalpakam. Now fusion, natural fusion or nuclear fusion. Fusion is exactly the opposite process to that of fission. In fission, the heavy nuclei breaks up into two nuclei, but in fusion, two smaller nuclei combine to form a larger nuclei or bigger nuclei. So there are various cells like cycles like carbon cycle, and then the hydrogen cycle and all. But the best example for fusion is that the sun or the stars. So where the heat is generated, the large amount of heat is generated, and we cannot study the fusion in laboratory because of this heat only. So the plasma or the heat cannot be contained in the normal laboratories. That is the issue. You just go through these examples. But out of that also, for controlled fusion, what you can go for are the hydrogen cycle and the other cycles. Finally, you can consider the concept in the comparative manner, like fusion also is possible to give out the energy, but the other things like the high temperature and the plasma containing are the very difficult things. So we can consider the processes of fission and fusion for the energy, the power generation. Thank you.